Hello and welcome to The Frame. We start this week with an update on Keefe Regional Technical Schools' plans to potentially develop a new building within Framingham, as leaders with the school are hoping to launch their feasibility study this summer. During the City Council's meeting on Tuesday, April 7th, officials with the school detailed their latest enrollment figures. About 900 students as of this past October, with roughly 675 of them being from Framingham compared to the other 4 communities that currently make up their school district. With that, Keefe Tech officials and members of the Massachusetts School Building Authority have determined that any new building for the school would have a proposed enrollment range between 875 and 1,350 students, a ceiling that's much lower than the state's initial proposal of 1,600 students, a figure that Keefe Tech Superintendent Jonathan Evans called unrealistic.
By the time enrollment shifted to that point, we would be about the size of Framingham High School. That was never the intent or the goal.
Evans acknowledged that even as the school is in its early stages of its process, the potential size and price tag of any project in the future could be significant. He added that the cost would be divided among the 5 member communities based on enrollment from those municipalities. For reference, Keefe Tech leader said Framingham has accounted for about 75% of the student body in recent years. At-large City Councilor George King joined his colleagues in praising the programming at the school, but he explained that those costs should be considered in any plans that's developed in the coming years.
I think that the service provided is very good, important, and growing. My concerns are how we pay for it and the financial impact it has on Framingham.
King went on to vouch for a voting system that would prevent a building plan from moving forward if any of the member communities from Keefe Tech voted down at the polls, contending that it would give Framingham residents its own say considering the amount of students from the city that attend the technical school. Evans told the City Council that school leaders would be in contact with the municipal government throughout the process of developing a plan. Keeping with possible school building projects in the future, Framingham officials have been advised that the target date to open a new school on the city's south side remains fall of 2030, as a vote on funding for the plan could be on local ballots next September. As it stands, the proposal is to develop a new school at the former Sisters of St. Joseph site along Bethany Road in order to replace Hemingway Elementary School. Proponents say the building would expand education access to residents south of Route 9. The city is currently in the middle of the Massachusetts School Building Authority's process to create a new school. Officials with the construction management company Vertex, though, say it could be worth it to delay the submission of the proposal to the state level by a few months, back to June of 2027, in order to solicit more public feedback and thoroughly develop their pitch. District 4 School Committee member Adam Freudberg agreed with that notion.
I think getting things done over the summer is fine, but it's also better to do it when more people are paying attention.
Vertex says that even with a delay prior to submitting the project to the MSBA, Framingham would still be on track to have a vote on the school plan in September 2027. A public hearing on the plan was held earlier this week, with additional sessions tentatively scheduled for May 18th and June 18th. More details on those school building updates, along with all of the top stories we cover every week on the program, can be found on our website, www.theframe.news. There, we've got full written articles, feature pieces we've completed across the city, and a community calendar filled with upcoming events. With this Thursday, April 9th, marking Local News Day here in the United States, we encourage you to follow along with our local coverage and to subscribe to our email newsletter so that you never miss out on Framingham News in Focus. The Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection has provided an update on the plan to clean up the former General Chemical property on Leland Street in Framingham. For decades, the site was used mainly for petroleum storage and for General Chemical's operations. While the facility was active, however, harmful contaminants, some of which have been identified as substances that could potentially lead to cancer, seeped into the site's groundwater and terrain, which forced residents to move and for homes to be destroyed. After being in use from the 1920s through 2012, the corporation ceased operations in Framingham and the site was abandoned, as local and state officials have since been working to clean up the property. After the General Chemical warehouse was demolished in the summer of 2024, and following a review of bids, Mass DEP has chosen TerraTherm to lead the cleanup of the land through thermal remediation, where heat is applied directly to the ground in order to get those harmful contaminants out of the property's soil and groundwater. State officials advise that site prep work is expected to begin this month, while the start of drilling should follow in mid-April. With that time frame, Mass DEP anticipates the treatment work to run from this fall through the spring of 2027. With a couple of stories left on the show this week, we'd like to turn things over to our intern Elizabeth Plessé to take you the rest of the way. Liz?
State officials have announced that over the summer, lower fares will be offered for MBTA commuter rail trips, which could benefit any riders coming to and from Framingham Station. In a statement, Governor Maura Healey said the promotions are meant to support regular commuter rail riders amid busy summer events such as the World Cup and the celebration of America's 250th anniversary of independence. The World Cup specifically will impact schedules aboard those trains in June and July. In turn, commuter rail fares will be free on all Fridays from the start of June through the end of August, while there will be a half-off discount on monthly commuter rail passes during the summer months for most full-fare and reduced-fare passes. Monthly pass holders will also be able to bring one companion onto a weekend trip for just $1 while having access to expanded travel zones on weekends as well. Believe it or not, we're just a matter of days away from the 130th running of the Boston Marathon, and as usual, tens of thousands of participants will be making their way through Framingham. On Monday, April 20th, spectators from around the area and around the world will be lining up along Waverly Street to cheer on runners, wheelchair athletes, and hand cyclists as they make their way to Copley Square in Boston. Waverly Street is expected to be closed off on Marathon Monday between roughly 7:45 in the morning until about 2 p.m. Additionally, Framingham-based businesses and organizations will be on hand at Jack's Abbey on Clinton Street for this year's edition of Marathon Fest. Music, activities, and other offerings will be provided from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. that day, and all are invited to attend. And finally this week, a reminder that Access Framingham will be premiering the latest episode of one of their new programs, AFTV Tries It, the show where the staff here at the station try out the unique spots and businesses located within the city. Recently, our team took a trip to Central Rock Gym along Concord Street as we learned the ins and outs of rock climbing. Here's a preview of that episode.
Hello. Welcome to AFTV Tries It.
Got chalk all over my hands. Hope Access Framingham has good workman's comp because I might need it later.
Yeah.
What am I witnessing?
Yep. Oh!
Get this shot so it looks like I'm gonna fall 100 feet.
I think if we all communally close our eyes and imagine me doing it,
Yeah, man! Yeah, get it! The right foot! Yeah!
My grip's going.
No, it's not! Legs!
Oh,
You almost had it!
More from that AFTV Tries It episode, along with all of our frame-by-frame segments, can be found on our social media pages. Follow at @frame.news_ on Instagram and search for The Frame on Facebook for more local coverage. Be sure that you're subscribed to Access Framingham's YouTube channel and hit the bell icon there to be notified whenever we publish new videos. We also publish full-frame episodes onto Spotify for you to watch or listen to. We encourage you to follow us there. That's all for this week's Framingham News in Focus. On behalf of our entire team here at The Frame, thanks for joining us. My name is Liz Plessé, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.